Welcome back to Ozarks Tonight. A grant from the federal government will help the only domestic violence shelter here in Greene County provide assistance to victims of domestic violence like never before. Lisa Farmer, the executive director of Harmony House, is joining me today. First of all, Lisa, thanks for being with us today. Kind of talk about this grant and how it's going to help you guys assist victims in ways that you haven't been able to before.
Right. Well, so we have in the past been able to provide what we call rapid rehousing, which is funding either in the form of rent or utility assistance or first month's rent. So we have been able to provide limited amounts of that in the past. This grant is more money, and we'll be able to provide up to three months rent for a survivor moving out of shelter. So we'll be able to really help give them some stability as they move out, and that's really exciting and really important.
It is important, and we were kind of touching on it earlier before we started the taping. Why is the 3 months so much more helpful to these survivors of domestic violence?
Well, that's a really good question, and a little bit of a complicated answer. I always say that domestic violence, moving from being a victim to becoming a survivor, it's not a straight line. It's a journey, and it's full of ups and downs and zigs and zags, and it's a long process. And so, when you've been in a situation where you've been controlled, told what to do, what to wear, what to think, how to act, all of that, when you've had your financial situation controlled, you've maybe not been allowed to work, you've had emotional abuse, so your confidence is shattered, you've possibly been physically beaten. There are so many obstacles to overcome, and so it's not something that you can just get out of that situation and be okay right away. And so, it takes time for victims to make that transition from being a victim to becoming a survivor. And there's all sorts of baggage that goes along with it.
All sorts of baggage. We talked about this. There could be legal situations involved. There could be, trips to court involved. And I have to imagine that the 3 months is just going to be so helpful to people as they transition into permanent housing. Kind of talk for people that aren't familiar with what Harmony House is. Kind of talk about a little bit about the history of Harmony House and what you all do.
Sure. So Harmony House was established in 1976. We were the first domestic violence shelter actually in the state of Missouri. We provide emergency shelter, victim advocacy, and education. So we really have evolved to the point where we provide emergency shelter, which is 90 days emergency shelter with the possibility of up to another 90 days extension. And that is primarily for the purpose to allow them to save money so that they have a little bit of a nest egg when they move out and can, pay for rent and essentials that they need in a new home or apartment. But we also now provide a comprehensive array of support services. So everything from case management to child care to on-site counseling, life skills classes. We really try to provide everything, all the tools and resources that somebody needs to begin to really make that transition from victim to survivor.
And kind of describe, for those that aren't familiar, what a domestic violence situation is like for someone going through that.
So somebody coming out of a domestic violence situation, first of all, when they decide to leave their abuser, that is the most dangerous time that there is for a survivor. It is within the first 2 weeks of an individual leaving their abuser, they are at the very highest risk of serious injury or death at the hands of their abuser. Because domestic violence, it's not an anger management issue, it's about power and control. And so when a victim is thinking about leaving or does leave, that abuser has lost all control. And they're lot of times not going to stop at anything to regain that control. So it's a very dangerous time, and it takes a lot of courage for them to be able to leave. So once they do leave, I mean, many times they've not been allowed to work, so they don't have work history. Oftentimes there's economic abuse or financial abuse, meaning that the abuser has kept all of the household finances hidden from them or secretive. If they have been allowed to work. Again, to be able to help with 3 months rent, that will give these individuals and families time to really get stabilized. So as they have a setback or two during the initial few months in a new home, you know, it will really give them time to not have to worry about paying the rent with their own resources, perhaps set some money back and have a little nest egg for a rainy day, and just focus on surviving and becoming survivors and healing and kind of getting a foothold. So we're thrilled that this is going to happen.
Like you said, it's a game changer.
It's a game changer.
We will have more with Lisa available on our podcast. You can find that at ozarksfirst.com. Lisa, I want to thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you so much, John. Appreciate it.
Yeah, we'll be back with more Ozarks Tonight right after this.